Welcome back, everyone. Show-Dependent podcast here, doing it big, doing it bigger than we have in the
Oh,
past few years. Why, you ask? Well, do we have us a treat?
oh,
Hopefully not a
treats.
trick.
Oh,
Couple treats coming our way
don't spin on it
because
now.
what?
Oh, we were talking about turning tricks, right? That's what we were
Oh, is
talking
that what you're
about?
saying?
No? Oh, okay.
Well,
My bad. It's not that kind of show.
I have been known to I don't know if I want to use this turn of phrase, but do tricks on myself.
What do you
However,
mean?
however, I'm not. Again, what is it? More slang that Bird will probably know from certain younger people in his life. But I'm not trying to glaze us too much either. All I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is we've got to treat two of them, in fact, because we've got Bird back in the stew, back up in this piece for not just one, because we've been doing the annual Halloween episodes with Bird, not just
Mm-hmm.
one, but two. Two
Oh,
special
yeah.
nights. So we'd like to welcome once again, before we do any other introductions, the man. Again, as I've said, in my mind, this man has the PhD in horror.
And spooky? Yeah.
This is a man who, as I always say, it's him and it's medium sauce who can break
Mm-hmm.
things down better than I ever can, and then make me think like, huh, I never thought of it that way.
Do I have a brain in between these two ears? I'm not positive, but I'm gonna try.
You know him, you love him. Back for another Halloween edition here of the Show Dependent Podcast. Everyone, welcome our boy Bird.
Woo!
Should I start with some sort of like Gen Z turn of phrase, like
Yeah,
Oh,
dog,
Lord.
give us one. What's your
six,
best one?
seven or something?
Oh,
Six, seven.
you know what?
Kill me.
I think I'm gonna
Thanks
take
for having
myself
me. I
out.
appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Oh
Good,
Yeah.
my
good.
God.
We're done.
That does suck. I hate that so much. But yes, we've got Bird back in the stew, and who is me? Who is you? Me is Eddie, and you is
Kayla.
there. We are.
And
You know,
the royal we is
sometimes
bird. I don't know
sometimes I
what's
have a
going
way
on.
with words. I think.
It's a way. It's
You
not the
know,
best way,
I got
but
to
it's a
create
way.
my own brain rot, my own slang. And with us, as always, today we've got four. He's a little wet boy over here because
You
he's
just
got
took
a
a
bit of the
bath.
big G right now.
Uh,
Which we don't, Bird asked me
Gucci?
like, we're like, well, how the hell even get this? But no, Buddy Boy's got Giardia right now, so he's over here.
Ah.
Just just took a bath. I have no idea how he got it. That's besides the point. He'll be ready to edit and do all them things.
He doesn't have the suds. He's functioning. He's just very contagious, apparently.
It really don't make no sense. But
I don't know.
today, have we again? Let's get back into the treat.
So we are going to be talking about a much more modern horror movie. The ones that we've
Mm-hmm.
talked about previously have been more classics,
Yeah.
and this one is much more recent. It's within the last 10 years. I think it's 10 years exactly. And we will be talking about the found footage gem, at least in my mind, Hell House LLC.
Mm,
Woo!
absolutely. Written and directed by Stephen Cognetti. The first in apparently a five-film franchise that
I had no idea.
concluded. It's this year, right? When the last one came out?
Yeah, I think the Hell House Origins it's currently in theaters or it was just released in theaters.
In
And
Huh.
theaters.
yeah, and
Damn.
I haven't seen it yet. I think it's very different. I don't want to like jump too far ahead, but I
Oh,
think it's a
sure.
little bit different than the other four.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
It's a meet cute baby. It's how we met this thing.
I'm gonna start us off
Ooh.
maybe a little contentious, at least in my mind, with the fact, but at least we, all caps we, know for sure that this film we watched with Bird for the first time. Because
Yeah.
apparently I've got this big problem where I think that every recent horror movie that we've seen, for some reason in my mind, Bird was there.
Wrong.
I'm apparently finding out that I'm way off,
Correct.
but in my mind, I still feel like I'm right. So,
That's
so
just called false
I don't know if it's
confidence.
just a stubbornness of I've inherited from
It
my
is.
father, and and my mother be like, "Oh, you're just like your father." But I don't know. At least with this one, we know for sure. We watched it with Bird. It was, of course, Halloween time. We were looking for something scary and fun, like we always do. Y'all know it. Obviously, that's why we dedicate so much time to the season that's spooky. Bird recommended we watch this one. It seemed like a fun time. To me, found footage is always at least interesting. And I just remember this one stuck with me. This one stuck with me right off
Hmm.
the bat.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely very much a like, ah,
Oh, wow.
stop it. Stop
Uh-huh.
it. Turn on a light. I'm scared. I need a blankie. It was one of those,
Mm,
which doesn't very much happen anymore, but it did like 10 years ago. So,
yeah.
God, it
When
was that long ago that we watched it.
did I was about to say, did we watch it?
No, it was more recent.
No, for the first time though.
Bird, chime in. Correct us, please.
No, because I remember when I first watched it, and it was not right when it came out.
Okay.
I remember watching it at an old house that I lived in with a couple of roommates, a mutual
Mm.
friend of ours, Fish, and we're not all
A
just
a
animal
lot of, I
names,
was
by the
about to
way.
say, got a
Yeah.
lot of animals.
We've got
You
a
know, Gator
zoo.
was there,
Yeah.
Snake,
Pelican showed up.
Pelican.
Pelican.
Yeah, I don't
We
Uh,
know.
call him Alcatraz because he's Mexican. And Alcatraz means pelican in Spanish.
There we go.
so Fish has to do with his name anyhow, but I watched it with him. It was a random night. I really wanted to watch a horror movie. He happened to be home. It was on Amazon Prime. So I'm gonna say maybe 2018 is when I first watched it,
Mm.
Okay.
and didn't have any expectations for the movie. Didn't really know anything about it. It was just something that kind of looked cool,
Yeah.
and we watched it, and it's really hard at this point, just from how much horror I watch, just become desensitized to
Hmm.
a lot of stuff that,
Mm-hmm.
folks that maybe aren't as engaged can kind of react a little bit more to. But
Yeah.
I remember watching this movie and literally like screaming out loud during one point, which does not happen for me. And
We'd love to hear it.
Bird
and
had
it was
feelings? Whoa.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'll react vividly to movies in other ways, but horror,
Yes.
it's more like I'm just enthralled by it or I love it, but like
Yeah.
actually
Hmm.
getting me to be like I can be scared in a moment, but there's a difference between like being scared like, oh, like,
Oh yeah.
there's the nun or something like that,
Oh.
and being like in a moment being actually tense and thinking like I might need to turn away. That doesn't happen
Hmm.
for me. And
I know.
so my connection with the movie is that it's one of the few movies within the past 10 years on the horror in the horror genre that I remember reacting to viscerally, beyond just like I really like this. It's
Yeah.
like a wow, I actually reacted the way that it was intended to be. There's a few other movies, but this one really stands out to me. So, but to go back to the original question, it would have been after 2018 that we first
Yeah.
watched this movie because I did not live in that house in 2015. I did not live in Reno in 2015.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? Yeah. God, but it was before COVID, I believe, right?
It was before COVID.
Okay. So yeah, it's got to be 29, 20, early 2020s.
Getting to know each other. Meow.
In your opinion, what happened that night at the Abaddon Hotel?
I don't know.
You want to know what I think happened that night? I have no idea.
Fantastic.
Thanks. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you know what is funny? It just stuck out to me on this rewatch is just that this movie came out 2015, but it is set in the year of 2009, and for myself, for Bird, I believe that's a bit funny, just because that is the year where we graduated high school,
Ew,
and
you guys are
so
old.
that's enough.
6, 7.
That's no.
I don't think that's how you use that phrase.
I'm still young. Y'all are old and I'm young.
I'm only 30.
I know what the
Haha.
kids are into these days. I don't know. It's just weird. It's funny because I don't know if I didn't make the connection or it's just now that we're in 2025, it just feels further away and feels like a whole different life. But it's just funny. It's like, man, this is 2009, and this feels like it was a lot longer ago than than it did before.
Well, and it feels like 2009. It doesn't really feel like 2015, which is a credit to the film and the filmmakers because as that being a pretty vivid time in my life, um,
Mhm.
the way so first off, this is not shot on like cell phone cameras. I mean, cell phone cameras, I guess, did exist, but not
They were
to the
ass.
level, right? Like, you would just have like a really grainy
Mhm.
video.
That's true.
So it's kind of like the end of an era where people would be recording with camcorders. I don't
Yeah.
know if anybody really has a camcorder nowadays because most people's iPhones or Google Pixel or whatever is like
Yeah.
essentially as good as most, unless you're doing something really high end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So kind of an end of an era. And they talk about in the movie that they're shooting it or they're recording everything because it's kind of quality assurance for
Mm.
future haunts that they're trying to put together. And so that's a good rationale for, why
Mhm.
we
Mm-hmm.
are
Yeah.
shooting everything on this camcorder. But it's kind of, and maybe this is just a nostalgia thing, but like kind of miss that time. I kind of I hate cell phone cameras and cell phone
Yeah.
videos. I essentially prior to me and my partner getting a dog, I think I had taken like 50 pictures over the course of 10 years
There we go.
Oh
um,
boy.
Like
on
a
my
man
phone.
does.
Right. And then I got my dog and
And
now
not
I have
and
like
nine of those photos were just of like measuring stuff for the house. That was it.
picture of me with John Hamm.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 25 pictures of him and John Hamm,
Hmm.
That's right.
and then one picture of
Strange.
himself. But I think it does, in a phrase that I love, behoove us a bit. Just talk about like, I mean, is camcorder, found footage, it's what are the merits of this? Because this is the first found footage film horror we're doing, and it's kind of horror kind of has made found footage, I believe, in the fact that it's the genre that uses it the most.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of about this time, 2015, it's kind of like the thing where it's almost played out a little bit. People look at it, roll their eyes. But this is a film where I don't know. It's like I want to say similar to Host. The gimmick makes it instead of hindering it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that found footage really works well for a low budget film because it hides some of the inconsistencies or just the lack of high end production value. It's a really easy built-in way for somebody to shoot a low budget film because
Yeah.
you can say like, well, it's found footage. It's from a cheap camcorder. It's not like a high end Hollywood video or Hollywood studio. Hollywood Video was a rental place that used to
I
exist.
loved
Yeah.
that place so much.
Um, a high-end Hollywood studio camera.
Mhm.
So, I think sometimes for a really, really cheap, low-budget horror movie nowadays, it can kind of get some of the pockmarks, so to speak, can be revealed in
Mm-hmm.
one that's shot in a traditional standpoint that I think can be hidden a little bit with a found footage. So again, it's logical to this story, and I think it serves it really, really well. I don't think this film works if it's not told
Yeah.
from a found footage vantage point.
Mhm.
Um, so I think it's a really quick and easy way to shoot a low budget movie. I think probably the most famous horror example would be Blair Witch,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blair Witch is good. It's not necessarily my favorite movie of all time, but like it's incredible what it accomplished and achieved
Well said.
for essentially being like a student film project. So, um, Yeah, so I think it's a good medium for new up and coming or folks that just don't have like a big budget to tell a good horror story. And there is something kind of creepy about like what did I discover?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Like think about like another movie. I'm not the world's biggest fan of The Ring, but like that
Oh,
idea of like
Ringu.
finding this videotape and like seeing something horrifying on it. That's a great
Yeah.
concept.
Little
So
Mm-hmm.
VHS. Little VHS in there, huh?
sure, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, before we move on, I just the connection I definitely make with that is, you know, well, I'm a YouTube boy. I be on YouTube a lot.
Nerd.
I like
Nerd.
I like my YouTube horrors and stuff. And it's just
Yes.
always funny because it's like, why are they filming their kitchen at 3 a.m.?
Don't worry about it. They were
Why
practicing their beatbox
why are
routine.
they filming like, oh, me and my son were out front in the yard throwing the ball, and then in the back in the house that's abandoned there's a person in the window. It's like, why are you filming this?
There's no reason for you to be filming.
Why did you zoom into the window randomly for no reason whatsoever? It's just, I don't know. So it's funny
Yeah.
because IRL, yeah, it's weird. And even with people filming more and more these days and filming everything, it's still like there's no reason for this.
No. I think it's really interesting that not only do they kind of like justify what they're doing, but they also inherently start off in a scarier point than any other film because they are creating a haunt. So
Oh
by
yeah.
nature, the things that they're already handling would scare some people. I don't like mannequins. I've said it 1,000 times. And oh my God, being in the same room as some of those dummies, or what did they call them? They don't call it,
Freaks.
yeah, the freaks.
Oh.
I'm happy they don't call them spooks because that's not a
Hey,
good
take
name.
it easy.
I'm just saying
Jesus
some
Lord.
people still use
Buddy,
it.
edit it out.
Hey, you better
Buddy, put
bleep
a
that.
beep.
Spookies.
Yeah, there you go.
Spookies. There
Put
we
in
go.
spookies. Now it's better.
Spookies. It's
And
not racist
en
if you say
español
it
is
with an
not
accent.
racist. In English, racist.
But yeah, just they're handling what is to them everyday
Oh
objects,
yeah.
but to like the layman, it's
Mm.
very scary.
And isn't that a good comparison to a bird and us with kind of like we're a little more used to it, you know? Not to sound
Hmm.
like an edgelord, but nothing scares me.
Okay.
But moving along, get here. Yeah, we're recording, but how did we get this footage? It's found footage, right? Who found it? The fun thing about this is that it really happened, right?
It
This is
really
a real
works.
story. It really
Hmm.
happened, and lucky for us, a big budget film studio said, put it in the theaters. Actually,
Hmm.
not this one, put it on streaming.
Yeah.
But we're doing like I love the setup of horror movies. It's something that I've come to like absolutely love is that for one, for me, I love that most horror movies start off with I'm essentially just watching someone go through life. It's either
Hmm.
someone, a family, wow, life is looking great. We just got this new house. Ain't nothing gonna go wrong. We find out very quickly things go wrong, and I love
Hmm.
that.
You love
And
it when things go wrong,
I
huh?
love it because that's when it gets juicy.
All right, as long as it's not to you, though.
Oh, absolutely. For
Yeah.
me, devastating. Would never ask for. For other people, put it on film. I
Hmm.
want to see it in 4K.
Get me some popcorn.
But it's just like, yeah, I love that the documentary setup I always love because I always love the this is real idea.
Hmm.
And this movie does it really well. I mean, but also kind of like the Bird's Point, which we'll talk about in a second. It's kind of goofy at the beginning too.
Hmm.
Well, because it's setting up like it's this documentary of this mysterious mishap that happened at this attraction in upstate New York,
Hmm.
and they have a bunch of people as talking heads, and it starts with what happened? I don't know. You tell me. I have
So
no idea what happened
stupid.
that night. Well, it's like
Uh, you being
Homie, we're
interviewed
interviewing you. What the hell?
when the
The
expert
only
doesn't
reason
know
we let
anything.
you sit down is because you said you knew what happened. No, I don't have a clue.
I don't know.
I thought I was going to the AA meeting, but now I'm here, so.
God, it's just funny, but it is an amazing setup because it's efficient, it's fast, uh we get like YouTube attendee footage, and it's a lot of like, is that supposed to happen? What really happened? The whole mystery of this is
Hmm.
like, what happened that night? What happened, dude? Like, because they're always just like, what happened will go down in infamy. So what happened? What happened? What happened? It's a good setup. Everyone loves a mystery.
Hmm. Hmm. Speaking of mystery and intrigue, Bird, will you tell us a little bit about Abaddon?
So Abaddon is not an actual place in New York, but
It's
Abaddon.
not.
What? I
I
thought
was
this was real.
lied to.
Oh.
What the
uh,
hell?
so Abaddon is a name, and it is a mythical character that is essentially a demon that guards the entrance to hell. So setting this movie in Abaddon, New York, even though
Hmm.
it's a fake place, it's a good name. One, because it sounds like an old timey type name that you
Hmm.
might find, like in
Yeah.
an old colonial village. But setting it in essentially the Hudson Valley, so they say that they're coming from New York City, they're moving upstate, but they live close enough in Abaddon, or Abaddon is close enough to the city that they can like go into the city, for a day trip. So
Hmm.
that sets it in the Hudson Valley. The Hudson Valley would be where Sleepy Hollow is located. And
Woo!
Hmm.
Sleepy Hollow is kind of the original American horror story and folktale.
That's great.
It's one of the first stories it's written by Washington Irving. It's written in something called the Sketchbook of Jeffrey Crayon, which is
Oh.
essentially a an attempt to establish America as a place that has its own culture and heritage, and to separate it from
Psych. Sorry.
Britain, to separate it from Britain, and to separate it from, even further than that, the Dutch, who were the original colonizers of Manhattan and New York. So it's a really interesting document and piece of literature. But of course, the most famous story from that is the Legend of Sleepy Hollow,
Yeah.
which is trying to, I think, on a larger standpoint, establish that there is kind of lore
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
folk tales to be had in the newly founded United States. So setting this type of story in a place called Abaddon, that's called Hell House, and setting it in upstate New York is a perfect, and specifically the Hudson Valley, is a perfect place that's evocative of ghost stories and horror in the United States.
Beautiful thesis
That's
statement,
fantastic.
Mr. Bird. Very proud.
You see, we said at the jump, this man can explain. I would have just said like Abaddon. That sounds pretty cool, and then just played like a played like a guitar sound. Like, that's the name of a demon. That's edgy as hell.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, you know Beelzebub, Texas.
Hmm.
You
Oh,
know
that
that
sounds
city, right?
fun. That sounds sweaty.
I
Sounds
mean,
hot.
a little caliente.
Yeah.
Here's a little fun fact, bud fact for y'all though.
Buddy,
That
you look up facts even when you're sick. What an angel.
you know what? Work, he never takes a day off.
Mm-mm.
But the Abaddon Hotel in the film, for one, early in the script, it was supposed to be set in a home, in a house, but they couldn't
Mm.
find a suitable location. So they actually filmed in a place called the Waldorf Estate of Fear, which
Oh,
is
great.
which is
Perfect.
yeah, it's a real haunted house attraction located in the parking lot of a general store in Towamencing, Pennsylvania.
That's not a real place.
No, it
Coabbington?
is. It really is. I don't know how to say it.
It's
Towamencing.
probably a native word and it's just like
Hmm.
spelled strangely. Anyway,
But
wow.
yeah, kind of interesting, kind of fun, that it's an actual, I guess, place that existed, and it makes sense, if it's a little bit low budge, they couldn't craft this place for themselves.
Ugh.
But always fun. I just love those little tidbits of like, yeah, this is a real place. I don't know if it's still
Standing.
operating and all that stuff. But interesting when scripts filming has to change because they just couldn't find a thing. It's
Hmm.
just, like, supposed to be a home, and I guess I don't know. Alluding to later in the franchise, it would make sense that they tried to like do a home first.
Mm.
But
I don't understand the reference because I haven't seen the other movies, but
you ain't
thank
seen it.
you.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna ask, would either of you guys work in a haunted house, or do you think you wouldn't be able to handle it?
Oh no, I think it'd be fun. As someone who I have very limited experience, but there was a
Period.
Halloween, like I mean big facts. There was a Halloween I want to say circa like 2013, 2014, where a friend of ours, we went over to his house and it was Halloween and he was like, "Hey, do y'all want to scare people?" And we said, "Hell yeah." So we got a little lick it up. And then
Oh
we're
my
just
God.
like in the garage, just like scaring people. And it was super fun. I'll be honest, I didn't expect it to be like that much fun, but I was having a ball. So I think it'd be fun. It's not real, right?
Or
Or
is
is
it?
it? No.
Mm.
So I went on a few dates when I lived
Whoa, flexing.
Dang.
Somebody's been on dates.
I have been on a date with a woman before. Um
Could have fooled me.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Wow. You know
I
what?
am literally
To our
kidding. I
esteemed
love your
guest,
partner, and I very much am aware
the
you have dated
disrespect.
people.
Well, so this was when I was living in Pennsylvania, actually. Um and
Creepy.
This man was there.
uh I was there, yeah. It was not in Pennsylvania, but I went on a few dates with a girl who actually worked as a makeup artist at a haunted house
Oh.
attraction in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Um,
The
and
Shore?
no,
Oh.
uh,
Was it JWoww?
very much not the
Yeah.
shore.
Oh, damn it.
No. Um, so anyhow, I remember she kind of talked about, and she would jump in sometimes and fill in as like a zombie or a freak
Fun.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But I talking to my current partner, I said like, oh, I feel like if I retired or became independently wealthy and I didn't need to work,
Mhm.
like every October being like, yeah, I'm gonna sign up
Hmm.
to be like, a crazy doctor,
Oh yeah.
or something like that in like a haunted house attraction, I would love it. I would
Mhm.
Hmm.
um, I don't have like a background in acting or anything like that, but I do. I like things that require you to kind of commit to the bit.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Um, and I also do not have any sort of fear of like being in front of people or presenting
Yeah.
There
sort
you
of
go.
thing. And so like the idea of like, jumping out and being like, whoa, or whatever, that
Exactly. Very well spoken. Like a true zombie.
Had me
um,
shivering in what is it?
Oh my
Shaking in my
God.
boots over here.
shaking in my boots. But But yeah, I absolutely would. I think working for a haunted house company would be really fun. Now, where I am not good, I would be fine as like a hired hand or actor.
Mhm.
I am the least visually oriented person in the world. I'm like an auditory learner. I do not see
Damn.
things like artistically. I have good vision, like literal vision, but like I don't
Debatable.
process.
Subtle brag.
I have terrible hearing.
Way to
I
rub it
don't.
into our faces, the two people who can't
As
see.
I'm looking at you with my like, I may as well have Coke bottles on like in my contacts.
Hmm. How many fingers am I
um,
holding up?
but I don't process information visually. I process
Mm.
it auditorially.
Damn, that's
So
wild.
I would not be good at like, and I'm not very creative or artistic. So like, I wouldn't be good at setting up like a horror attraction. I do a good job like setting up decorations at my house or like for my
Okay.
Halloween
Oh
party, but
yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
that's
Well,
my
subtle
partner's
brag.
helpful. Subtle brag. My partner's very helpful for that. Anyhow, long story short, yes, I would have a blast
Oh yeah,
working in a haunted
I
absolutely.
house
would
company.
like it, but I don't like getting scared.
You
I
scare
would.
yourself. Do the movie
I
thing where
turn
you
a corner, there's a fucking mirror.
yeah.
Ah! Oh
Oh,
my God.
it's just me, and then your like shadow moves.
Yeah. Here's
Now
my
it's real.
stipulation. I would need to be wearing a mask.
Like goosebumps.
Because no, because I feel like I would get too self-conscious if I wasn't wearing a mask.
I see.
And I took a theater class in college, and we got to put on like different kind of emotive masks. So they were pretty plain, but they had different expressions on them. And I don't know, there's something really powerful about just putting on a mask and then you can't talk, like it's a solid structure. And it's like,
Oh,
oh,
I see.
now I have to embody this emotion, whatever that
Hmm.
might be. So
Hmm.
Or lucha
I would like
libre.
Ah, that's
mucha
right.
lucha,
You
mucha
da
lucha.
and you damn
It's
right.
a way of life.
But
Fantastic.
but but you know who had a blast? I really think they had a blast. Not only did they have the love for the game, that is a haunt, but just as actors, these people killed it as these
Yeah,
characters
they did
in my mind.
great.
But let's talk a little bit about the characters right off the bat. Uh, what's his name? Alex?
Alex is, yeah, he's the head honcho, and it doesn't take very long for us to use another Gen Z term, think that he's a little
Clock his
sus.
tea. Oh, okay, that too.
I don't know if they still say that, but he is just throwing in lines like, oh, like they're talking to some of the local people that they're going to hire on as actors. And they're like, oh, the rumors about this place. And everybody's like, oh, what rumors? And he's like, there's no rumors. There's no rumors. And
Shut
it's like,
up.
oh, okay, yeah.
There's nothing to see here.
Um,
Don't ask Jeeves.
weird things are happening. And, the other people, part of the Hell House LLC are, you know, questioning what's going on. And then he's like, hey, we're 2 weeks away. Don't scare away our actors and our potential customers. And it's
This
like,
motherfucker.
this seems like you know something that other people
Oh yeah.
don't, and you're willing to hide it for the
Money.
the money that you're going to make from this haunted house attraction.
Yeah, you're gonna rake it in for sure. This man,
Fucking,
a true capitalist,
he's the
was just
Monopoly guy.
ready. He essentially told them like, "I am willing to risk all of your lives
Mm-hmm.
for these $5 haunt tickets." You
Some
know,
of you may
I'm out
die,
here dying.
but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
And I mean, Alex is
Fantastic.
fine. I don't know. For me, I feel like Paul is like he gets the Oscar from me. Just because mostly because I just think he does a great job acting scared. Like it feels very genuine. And I mean for
Mm-hmm.
most of them it feels genuine. But Paul's kind of like the camera guy off the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Um and also I mean Paul I mean he's a horn
Problematic
dog.
fave.
He's a horn dog. He's out
Disgusting.
here. He may as well like hit on every woman he
He
sees.
reminds me of like the horny chihuahua trope. That like every time you go over to your friend's house, the dog just starts humping your leg, and you're
Oh
like, well, I
God.
guess I gotta go along with this.
Let him finish. Let him
He'll be
finish.
fine. He'll calm down once you let him finish.
Yep, yep. Don't make eye contact though. That's gonna be a
You
big
know,
problem.
he's gonna get going again.
To make eye contact, he's
Gross.
gonna think you love him, and then he's gonna come back for seconds. But yeah, I
Oh,
don't know,
ew.
Paul. But I mean, all of them, all of the dudes, really are just like they see a woman, that camera's zooming in on the tits. Like it's just,
Awooga.
they see a woman's ass, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, dude,
Hmm.
zoom in, my guy." And it's like I don't know. I mean, the '09. Yes, it was a little crazy. We were saying some things
Hmm.
back then. We were doing some things, but I don't know if we were that horned out.
It's a lot.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have made a joke. Uh, they asked Paul, like, what were you last year? And he's like, I think I was the Puss Slayer. And it's like,
Oh my
wow.
God.
Dude, high five. That's so
Yeah, that's
sick, my
pretty.
guy.
Yeah, wow.
I feel super bad for Sarah. Not only because of
Oh
what
God.
happens, but just like, fuck, you're the only girl here.
Yeah, yeah. But she's one
Ew.
of the guys.
I mean, I saw her ass. That is not a man's ass. That is a lady's
Yeah,
ass.
for Sarah and
I'm no better
Melissa.
than I'm no better than no man.
Melissa immediately shows up and immediately gets essentially, I don't know, harassed.
Yep.
They all whip out cameras and just start recording her.
There's a reason they don't have an HR department.
Yeah, it's like you know what? It's a problem. It's like, man, I don't know. They keep whipping out their camcorders and like clearly zooming in on me. I think I got to report this to HR. And you go to report it to HR, and it's just Paul.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big problem. It's like, hey, how you doing, toots? What can I do for you?
The H in HR stands for horny resources.
Oh,
And that's Paul.
that's it.
Disgusting.
That's it. But yeah, I don't know. I think Paul does amazing with the. He feels like if I were doing this and recording this, I would react the same way. I'd be like, "Hey, yo," and then get going. You know,
Hmm.
and Paul kind of does that.
I also feel like the jumping from being like the comedic relief character to being kind of like the
Oh.
character that's experiencing horror most vividly. I think there's a reason why it's not a huge jump for like somebody that's based in comedy to go into horror. So like
Mm,
Zach Cregger, who did Barbarian and Weapons, he started in The
Barbarian.
Whitest Kids You Know.
Right.
Um, and those movies have some like absurd funny moments to it, but I think
Hmm.
like getting somebody to laugh and getting somebody to scream are,
Hmm.
I think that's a line that's not super,
Mm.
it's a rather
Yeah.
fine line, I think. um it's also something that I think is not as easy to do as people think it is, and it's something that I think a lot of like horror or movie critics, not horror critics, movie critics don't really value. They think it's cheap,
Hmm.
like it's getting an emotion in a cheap sort of way. And
So
I
is
think
like
that,
making a dog sick in like a drama film. Like what do you
right,
mean? Like it's all
right.
par for the
So,
course.
Cheap heat.
Hmm.
right. So anyhow, so that's all to kind of say that like I actually think it makes a lot of sense to have Paul be sort of like this edgy kind of like comic character that's like, talking to the mannequins and be like, "Oh, how's it hanging, babe?" And it's just like, a woman that's
I
hanging sort of thing. He's hanging out with Hector, who's playing the piano.
don't like
Um,
him. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
He scares me. I'm not a fan.
but it's funny that he's doing like all these, he's saying all these funny lines. He's kind of acting ridiculous, and then he's the one that ends up experiencing the horror kind of the most acutely.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that that's a really good choice to have the funny character. He's funny. He's kind of going over the line with some of the things that he's saying, and then he's the one that's kind of experiencing the horror in a way that the other characters don't until the end of the movie for the most part.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and he kind of stews in it for a while as well. So
He stews in it. He feels it. We got Mac, who I just remember is kind of like a
long face,
long face, but he does good too. You know,
horseman.
I feel like he's kind of like the action guy, whereas like everyone else is like, "Oh God, I'm scared. Let's get out of here." He's kind of like, "We got to go fight this." You
Yeah, he
know,
confronts
we
things
got to
head
get
on.
in there and we got to find out what's happening. But you always need a guy like that. You always need the guy who's willing to dive in there. But then we also get Tony. Tony's up in there,
Tony.
and Tony's the guy who probably has the most contentious little arc here because I did see it, researching with Bud, we saw it on like the Reddits and stuff. People were like, "Why did this happen the way that it did? Why did they give us no answers?"
Hmm.
Because Tony essentially gets to the point where he's just like, "I need to get out of here. I need to get
I
out of
am
here. I need to be
Tony.
done. I'm gone. I'm out." And for one, brave, and also
Brave.
correct
Hmm.
because a lot of horror movies, a lot of moments, everyone knows it. There's a time to get out of there, and the time is within the first 5 minutes.
Correct.
But Tony stays longer than that. But he reaches the point where he's like, I gotta leave. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. But then we get probably I saw a Reddit again where someone was like, this is one of the dumbest scenes I've ever seen in movies. Period.
Mm.
I don't know if it's that much, but he was contending with the whole Tony, he wants to leave. Then all of a sudden he's in a field with Mac, and then they're like, we need to get out of here. Now we can't get out of here. Ah, you're right. And then that's it.
That's it.
It's like the plot demands we stay. I don't know. Like we need to leave for reasons. It's very funny because it's not explained at all.
No.
And the only real rationale I can think of is Mac tells him, we've put all of our, business savings, all of our money into this hotel, and
Hmm.
we have to do this haunt, otherwise like we go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like it would be enough of
No.
a rationale if I thought that I was going to die.
Hmm.
It does not seem like it would be enough of a rationale for me, like, oh my God, we got to stay. So it's like any other kind of explanation, I just can't think of anything that would be rational.
No.
Because
Or
Tony,
absolutely ridiculous. Like what? Did he literally sell his soul and now everybody's on the line? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's literally no way to justify it.
yeah.
Right. And yeah, and I can't, and we're not talking about the sequels or anything, but nor can I remember anyways if they ever do explain. But he essentially like whispers nothing. Well, I'm getting the no. I'm getting the no from Bird. But it's like, yeah, God, it's got to be like, and you would think maybe with a horror franchise it'd be like, he signed away our souls, we're fucked anyways, or something like that. Something even more ridiculous. But
Hmm.
yeah, I just don't like, dude, I'll fire up my resume. Like I'll I'll fine tune it, maybe take this off the resume, but like I'm fine with finding another job. I could struggle for a little bit as long as
I'll
I'm
be
still
okay.
alive. But
I
uh,
can't work if I'm dead.
but
You're
money
thinking like a
rules all.
capitalist, right?
Exactly. Hey, how am I gonna get these dollars if I'm 6 feet under?
Hmm.
But let's get to the big scares.
Ah! Did I scare you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't even think Bird heard me because it probably cut out on Zoom.
Oh
No, I
no.
heard you.
Yeah,
Oh, good. Yay!
no, we heard you. What also
Usually,
gave it away was the slight delay where I heard it in the background and then, I was like, what is
damn
happening?
it.
Um,
I tried, guys. I'm
but there's two
sorry.
very big scares. We'll have Bird give the first one, and we'll talk about the second one here. I mean, this movie, very, very amazing. Uh, truly horrific moments, I think.
So when I introduced my meet cute, my introduction to the movie,
Hmm.
and I was talking about having that visceral reaction. So the scene that I viscerally reacted to is when Paul is kind of shooting a talking head.
Yeah.
He's in bed, he's talking to the camera, and he's kind of at his low point because at this point he's had multiple encounters. We'll talk about the clown. Being
Ah!
in the room with strobe lights and the freaks, and then seeing other
Oh.
figures in that room, and so he's pretty at his lowest point, and then he's shooting this talking head, turns off the camera comes back on, and he wakes up, and then in the corner we see a girl
Hmm.
that's just kind of sitting on the floor. He sees it and reacts, I think, pretty perfectly, which is he immediately throws the covers over his head
Yeah.
and is just hyperventilating and shaking and is terrified, takes the covers down. The girl's, before, who she was just looking forward, now is looking at him,
Oh.
puts the
Ah!
covers on again, takes the covers off. Now she gets up
Ah!
and
Not
Sorry.
what you not,
yep.
not what you want to see.
I already have goosies. Ew. Bleh.
And then he's under the covers for a while, and then finally takes the covers off, and then the camera, you see her really briefly, and then the camera kind of cuts out.
Gotcha.
And that sequence, me and my friend who I was living with at the time, when we watched it the first time, we're both like, ah, like genuinely reacting to it and kind of
Yeah.
doing the same thing that Paul was doing. And it's like, that is not easy for me to do. And I
Hmm.
think it's because they had done such a good job of slowly building the tension and doing it in a way that isn't hokey. And I think that's something that can be really good with found footage. To go back to that conversation at the beginning, you can do something really, really simple and make it look super scary. So something
Yeah.
like this
Mhm.
mannequin can't move,
Yeah.
and then you move it, and
Hmm.
it's
Hey,
not
yo, they said they
it's
couldn't
not
do
a,
that.
When we
it's not a
break
big
the
stunt.
rules, I get upset.
Yeah.
Kayla
Right.
gets upset when rules are broken.
Right, but
Ah.
you've made that acknowledgement, and you've made that agreement to, go along with that
Hmm.
logical point. And it's not like it's a big budget, like, this is a huge practical effect or anything like that, or God forbid CGI. And it's
Bleh.
it's it's just something really simple.
Bleh.
And so it's built it up. And then when you see this girl, and again, she's just, in real life, it's just an
Yeah.
actress in a costume, right? But like they've built up enough goodwill with how they have progressed through this movie for me to have a visceral reaction like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, this is really truly terrifying.
Right.
For a movie that this movie could have been very, very bad, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's masterful. It's really good.
Mhm.
Uh, so anyhow, I think that it does such a good, effective job that when it gets to this part, which is a really big scare, it pays off. It's done enough legwork for this to feel like the audience is going to emote and react to it
Mhm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
intended way.
Oh yeah, it's great. I loved the way you described it. I love to picture you and Fish, almost like Scooby Doo and Shaggy. Like one of you jumped into the other's arms. It's just like, oh God, and then you ran out of the room.
Mm-hmm. Ski daddling.
I think it's just really a great understanding of what is scary and like
Mm.
how to achieve a genuine like scare, not just like a jump scare, which um, I don't know. Is there a fine line? Uh, Maybe a conversation for another time, but
Mm-hmm.
I just think, yeah, this scene with this girl, it kind of does similar to what myself and Kayla think is probably the best scene in the film, and the one that got us the most because it's all about like, I mean, making turning ahead scary.
Mm-hmm.
But the for us, it's got to be the clown.
Ah,
And I think it's for
no.
maybe different reasons because I don't personally find clowns scary, like at a base level. And Kayla, I feel like you do.
I do, yes. Yeah, I can confirm. Not
Yeah.
a great
But
fan.
but it's a great design for this clown. I think one of the best I've seen because it is genuinely like, wow, that's a scary looking mask. That's a scary looking clown mannequin or whatever it is. Um, but I if I break it down, I think it is the subtlety of it that
Mm-hmm.
is the most scary. And I always like to picture, especially with these movies that are, at least at the beginning, a little more grounded in real life. Like, picture how I would react in that situation, which is why I say Paul does a really good job. And, like Mac and Sarah, they do really good jobs when we get into it here in a second. But like the first little hint, I think, and the first real scare in the movie is with the clown. Because
Mm-hmm.
they say, like Bird said, they make a point to say this mannequin can't turn its head. Like the mask is great, but it's wasted on this mannequin because we can't turn its head. But it looks striking. It looks great. Then we all of a sudden Paul's going through dicking around, harassing the mannequins, grabbing a boob here and there, as he does,
Of course.
doing a little honka honka. And all of a sudden he sees the clown mannequin standing up top of the stairs. That's not where they left it.
Also, why can't the mannequin just stand independently? I thought it
Well, it's
was
a
just a
mannequin.
sitting mannequin. I know, but they
Oh, I
usually
mean,
are
yeah, the
sitting.
technology, yeah, that's pretty interesting.
I
It's
don't
got a
like
good,
it.
it's got a good weight to it. But
Uh,
Paul's like, oh, hey, haha, like someone moved this up here. Um, or does he do that first? I might be mixing things up. He's like, why is this mannequin here, right?
The mannequin, yeah, so the mannequin is set downstairs. He's walking around. He's essentially previewing what it's going to look like. He's
the
like, here's all the
walkthrough.
work that we've done. Here's,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. And then he goes and he's like, oh, like somebody moved the clown upstairs. Like, haha, very funny.
Hmm.
Then he keeps going and then he goes downstairs and he sees the clown. He's like, wait, what? And then he like runs back up and he's like, wait, you were just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he thought that like Tony or somebody was in the clown, like had taken that mask or had dressed like it. And then
Hmm.
when he sees that the clown is still in the basement, he's like, wait, like what the fuck?
Hey, yo, yeah.
And really
Hmm.
freaks out about it.
Yeah, it's so good. I love that. And then we get the moment where he's like looking at the mannequin up close, and then he turns the camera. And obviously, the mannequin is just facing down the stairs because it can't turn its head. And then when he turns the camera back, the mannequin is staring right at him.
Fuck
And he's just
me.
like, oh, throw my arms up. Like, good
Mm-mm.
Lord.
Mm-mm.
Because imagining that actually happened, I'd be like, dude,
No.
that's it. I'm out. I just say it's like genuine, like, oh, what the fuck? Like, this
No.
should be impossible, and yet it's happening.
Mm-mm.
That sets up the moment where it gets even worse.
No, not worse.
Because and it's crazy how just like seeing a clown at the top of stairs can be so terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I say this guy, what's his name? Steven Cognetti, he really knows and understood in this first film how to make something scary. Because later in the film we get essentially the same thing, but more and worse.
Awesome.
And it's like the moment that I think is just like, if I hadn't left by this point, I'm absolutely leaving after this. Because we get it again. They wake up in the middle of the night. Paul's like, what the hell? He turns the corner and the clown is on the stairs. As if it's like coming to his room.
Kill me. Absolutely. No, no, no.
And then shit just proceeds to get worse. Mac comes out hot and he's like, oh shit. And then they're like, we got to go figure out what's happening. Why is this clown here? They try and like move it down. So Mac like moves it down the stairs. But
The
then
fact
Sam,
Matt could even fucking touch that thing?
I mean, Mac, you see the guns.
Kill me.
Oh, he can
No.
fight the clown if anything. He's not scared of it. But then they see Sarah and she's like speaking in tongues.
I think she's talking backwards.
Mm.
Literally she is like they've just taken the
Oh,
Reversed.
audio
really?
mix
Okay.
and reversed it. But the implication is certainly that she's talking in tongues or
Yeah.
speaking, Latin or something.
All right. They wake Sarah up. And all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, like this shit's weird. What's happening? Are you okay?" She's freaking out. They turn around and the clown's fucking gone.
Kill me.
The subtle things happening
The brain breaking
are
bullshit.
so terrifying. Yeah, it's just like this should be
Oh!
impossible, and yet it's happening. And then they like see candles and hear the music, and then they just freak out and they're like done and out of there. I think it really highlights everyone's acting
Mm-hmm.
because it feels genuine to me. It really does feel like a group of friends. And I think that's kind of similar to Host. I think
Yep.
that's something that's a strength in this movie. It's just like you feel like they really are real people. Like
Mm-hmm.
they feel like yeah, they were friends and they have great friendships and I don't know, it just feels real the way they act to this. And that intensifies the scare for me.
And it gets to a point too where if this had happened on the first night, like it's kind of a overkill in terms of us
Yep.
watching this. Like it's got to be like a slow burn up until
Mm-hmm.
this moment. And so like the clock, ringing, the piano hymn,
Ew.
which had
I
been
don't like it.
played with Paul with Hector, the
Ew.
freak on the piano,
Sorry.
and
I
then
just really
it's
don't
being
like him.
played. Um, and then the candles being lit. It's really well done. And yeah, it's very much earned. Otherwise, like if it's done too early, then it feels like, a little too haunted mansion-y or something. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can definitely see that.
But yeah, I mean, obviously it's a horror movie. Things are ramping up. And this whole film has been, I mean, it started with what happened that night. The guy they're interviewing doesn't know, even though he's an expert.
I don't know either because I just got here. So somebody should tell me.
We got to figure it out. So it's like it's the first and last night of Hell House LLC.
so, they're shooting, from the camcorder from the house, and they show the actress that's playing like the, hotel, who's checking in everybody at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hotel.
Front desk. Yep.
And so they open the door, there's this massive crowd, and she's like, "Good evening, everybody," and everybody's like, "Woo!"
Hey!
I've
Okay.
never
Yeah.
seen people that stoked for a haunted house before.
That's gonna be us
Uh,
this year. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, look, there's a really cool haunted attraction that is actually very similar to
You
Hell
know
House
what?
because it's
You're
set in a
right.
prison that is allegedly haunted.
Really.
Haunted.
So, but anyhow, they are incredibly excited for this haunted house attraction, and it seems like they got the word out because there's quite the line of people that want to go see this.
This is the moment where we finally come full circle, right? Which is always fun because it's like we saw the hints, now we finally get to see an answer. Thing about this movie is you kind of do, kind of don't see what
Hmm.
really, really happens. Um, but we see how everything's coming back. We see like, oh, is that supposed to happen? We return to the attendees footage that was on YouTube where they're like seeing people running around and all that. But now we finally see kind of what is actually going on, who's actually running around and doing this. And this is also kind of a major contention that we all said was because they hire an actor named Melissa, as we mentioned, who's like going to be chained up in the basement. And for some reason, they actually chain her up,
Stupid.
which is I don't know. I mean, probably because Paul's the head of HR and he's checked out. He's
Ugh.
hanging, he's sleeping. But there ain't no way you actually chain someone up.
Also, like, what the fuck? They went to all this effort to set up cameras from essentially every angle.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, we gotta know what's going on for liability purposes. But let's just chain the woman to the ceiling for real?
I mean, it's good. It's a good scare.
Yeah, for her.
That I could get my hands on her and cut her shirt.
No! Women already go through enough horrors. We don't need any more of that.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
And then they're always doing these fucking one-liners that are all horny one-liners because they tell
Disgusting.
Joey, they hire Joey, which is weird. They hire Joey essentially to like sit amongst the clouds,
Ooh.
and just like watch. I don't know what his job really
He's
was.
security to make sure that Melissa's okay.
I guess, but like I don't know, that just seems like a weird role to assign to someone because when you think about it, they got Melissa, they got Joey, they got the girl who's greeting, and then like that's all
That's
the
it.
people they hire. What else is happening at this haunted house? But I don't know, it's just weird to dedicate like, hey Joey, if something goes wrong, you get her, and they're like keep an eye on her. He's like, oh, I got no problem with that. Or something like that.
Ew.
He's essentially, I don't know, got his tongue out.
No, if I remember correctly, Joey doesn't actually say anything. It's
Okay.
like Tony or Alex or somebody is just like, all right, man, like we're ready, like, keep an eye on her. Not that that'll be too hard.
Oh God. No, because I am.
I'm uncomfortable.
Oh God. And now you feel like what it was like in 2009.
I was alive. What the hell?
Nah.
I told you that was the
You-
year I got groped at high school. Last day of freshman year, a dude groped me.
Goodness gracious.
He said, "Where my hug at?" And he grabbed my fucking ass.
Jesus
And then
Christ.
I had to walk onto the bus
Why
like
did you
nothing
tell me
happened.
this?
I told you just now.
Well, you know what? This isn't funny anymore.
I'm fine. I'm over it.
This isn't funny anymore, and now I've got somewhere to be.
You're gonna go find this
Because we're gonna
random
go
boy?
kick this guy's ass.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. It's just y'all can explain how you feel. For me, I feel like the reveal of what actually happens in this night is
Boo.
kind of underwhelming for me, and I wish they would have done something else.
Mhm.
Just because it feels like they set it up as this wild thing. And I mean, I guess it is wild. It's just kind of like,
It's too wild.
yeah, I guess.
If it was just the one dude, like the
Yeah.
owner or whatever, and you would like see him in the background periodically,
Sure.
and like things would kind of be coming to a head that way, I would get
I
it.
don't know. It just starts to feel a little too like, and then it's hard to stick the landing, but it starts to feel a little too strange.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's a lot of like camera shots that are like obfuscated by like people running out or like lights or things like that. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really a need to be subtle at that point. Like I think you can kind of go for it.
Mhm.
Especially because again, like the effects that they're doing aren't really it's just people in like cloaks
Mhm.
and um you know, I don't think that you have to really hide much at that point
Mhm.
because like we talked about the kind of climactic scene of their experiences
Mhm.
in the haunted house before the attraction opens for the first night. And that like scene is not really like a subtle scene at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And it's done really well. And I think you could have done the same sort of thing, but it was like trying to go for it, but having a little bit too much like subtlety or mystery to it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, look, I don't hate it or dislike it, but I do agree that I think that it could have been done slightly better. And
Yeah.
kind of the end, when we get past that and then we get to kind of like the final,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's done a little bit better.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. Which I guess does sort of speak to the fact that it's not really the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I guess I just kind of like find it a little goofy.
Yeah.
Just because, and maybe it's just me because this is what I do with movies. But in my head, I'm like, they're teleporting. How can they teleport?
How did the clown teleport? I don't
But
know.
I don't know. But the clown makes sense. The clown is
The
fine.
clown tracks because it's a
The
mannequin.
clown, I'm cool with that.
Mannequins are evil.
People teleporting, now you're taking a
Mm.
step too far.
I was gonna say, speaking of the step too far,
Was that
shall we
M.
get
Night
to
Shyamalan?
a little, come on, baby, let's do the twist.
I mean,
Oh,
I think it's a great bit of unexpectedness.
yeah, because after we see like the evil coven or whatever, we're like, okay, that's the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or
And you
is
think
it?
it's all wrapped up, but yeah, put a little question mark at the end of the end because
So during this time, what's been happening is the person that's putting on this documentary is able to get a hold of Sarah. So it's revealed that Sarah actually survived the night,
Mhm.
and is the only surviving member of Hell House. And she's kind of narrating what happened and talking about it. And she shares some additional footage. She's like, you should watch this.
Oh, yeah.
And during the conversation that the documentary person is having with Sarah, they're like, well, why didn't the police say what happened that night? And she's like, well, it was the right thing to do. People would have had a hard time handling it. So she's, acting the way that you would expect, which is like this was something that was really, really horrific
Mhm.
and would lead people to like have questions about like their faith and like their belief and logic and reason and rationality. And so she's acting totally how you would expect somebody who experienced this to expect. And then at the end of this interview, she's like, I need to take a break. You can find me later today. You can find me in room 2C, because this is all happening at a hotel.
Yeah.
And uh, so she leaves, and then they start taking a look at the footage that she provided. And she's like, before she leaves, she's like, oh, like, by the way, like, you should really see what's inside the house. And the documentarian's like, well, it's closed off to the public. It's a crime scene. And Sarah's like, oh, is that the only thing that's stopping you? You really should see what's inside. And it's like, huh, you,
Hey, Sarah,
you,
what the fuck?
you were acting in a rational way, and now you are being very suspicious. And then this is what I find very funny. So then once Sarah leaves, the documentarian's trying to convince her crew is like, we should go in there.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, like, no, we shouldn't.
No.
And then she's like, oh, what are you afraid about? Ghosts? It's like, you seem to be taking this story deadly seriously. And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, yeah, who
This
cares?
ain't nothing.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So it's kind of strange.
Hmm. Yeah, she takes a
But
bit of a turn.
that,
She's like, did Sarah just call me a pussy? I
I
ain't
think
taking
I'm
that
gonna
lying
fight
down.
Sarah.
Did she just say
Yeah.
you won't? Because I will.
I am about to. And she does. What? I don't have anything else to say.
I love it. Gorgeous.
She
Fantastic.
does.
Fantastic. She does because it's great. I love that we get this at the end. I think it's a perfect ending to this film because it's one of those endings where it's like, that can't have been her. because we get this little bit where the reporter and the cameraman, I couldn't think of the person who records things. They're like, we gotta go talk to Sarah. What did she mean? They ask the front desk. It's like she's in 2C. They're like, we don't have that room here.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, we don't have any letters with our rooms here. And so like she said 2C, right? And like, yeah. And it's like, oh, like maybe she misspoke or something like that. And so they're like, yeah, whatever, we'll move on.
So then they decide, hey, we're gonna go to Hell House. And I love the little bit because throughout this whole movie, documentary style, they'll have a text on screen that explains things. They'll have images. They had like, which again is like the ability to make like an image scary and eerie and all that. But they have like, oh, there was a guy who lived here who hung himself, and here's the picture of the guy hanging, and it's just like, wow, this is really creepy and scary, and I don't want to see an actual dead person. So they do one more of these text screens, and it's like when the reporter and the cameraman went to Hell House, the some guy stayed behind and checked over the footage, and what he saw is unexplainable. And I just love that because I'm like, all right, Zach Baggins, here we go, baby. Ghost Adventures.
No, not
There are
Zach.
things in this world that can't be understood.
Understood.
It's just, but it's a great bit of foreshadowing of like, ah, shit, this isn't over yet. Like,
Ah, there's
what
more.
did he see?
And what he sees is he sees essentially what happened to everybody in Hell House because, we know that there's a report of fatalities.
Mhm.
We know that it's alluded to that, somebody seemingly committed suicide.
Right.
Hmm.
Um, so what we essentially see is we see Alex essentially get hung by like these cloaked figures in
Oh
the
Not
yeah,
attic.
cool.
yeah.
We see uh, Tony and Mac also get taken out. But the thing that's really uh, jarring and is the unexplainable is we see Sarah and Paul, or we see Sarah run into Paul,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and Paul is not himself. And he takes the camera because Sarah was running around with a camera recording. He takes the camera
Mhm.
and he proceeds to bash Sarah with this camera until she dies.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So Paul kills Sarah, and then Paul takes a piece of glass and slits his throat, and he dies.
Mhm.
And of course, this is inexplainable because wait a minute, Sarah is dead. How is she here
Mm.
talking to this documentarian?
Oh my
Also, really quick, when people get outside, when they start, when they realize that something's wrong during the Hell House, debacle, and they're escorting people to the emergency exits, like firemen and police are there like
God. Yeah.
immediately. And so it's like, wait a minute, if they're there that quickly, why are they just standing outside? Like, why aren't they inside? Because it seems like this Sarah and Paul murder suicide should have been prevented because the police should have already been
Oh
inside
yeah.
and would have been like, hey, like, stop. But
Hey,
Hmm.
don't
um,
do that.
and I know it's movie magic, but it's just a small moment of kind of
Wait a second.
Yeah.
non-logic and what's otherwise I think like a pretty tightly taught movie
Yeah.
or
Hmm.
tightly
Ooh, tightly
done
taut.
movie. Tightly taught,
It
yeah.
Oh
is
my
interesting
goodness.
because they could have just done the simple thing of like, we called them, they're on the way. But they made the choice to like, I mean, this is like world record response time by the emergency.
Especially apparently like in the middle of fucking nowhere, New York.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the firemen may as well have been there with how
They were
quick
in line for the
they
hunt.
showed up. Yeah, they were all
They were
apparently
pissed that they weren't getting let in, and that's why they didn't go in because they're like, we
right.
gotta follow the rules. Gotta wait
Yeah,
our turn.
they were there immediately. It is interesting. We go back to the reporter. They're looking around. Everything's creepy. It's like, oh, that's the basement. There's like a little blood trail and stuff. It's like, I'm not going down there. I ain't
Fuck
doing
that
that.
shit.
So they go, keep looking around. They go up some stairs, and we see a door. And what does it say on it? It says 2C.
Oh no.
Wait a minute. That isn't
No.
that the room that Sarah said she was going to be in? Well, we got to check it out. They open the door, and who do we see sitting down? No one else but little old Sarah
No,
just hanging
no.
out. And for a little bit of kind of like, what is it called? Dramatic irony
Sure.
is the reporter gets a phone call from the guy who stayed behind. The
Mm-hmm.
man has already seen the footage. Sarah's dead. He knows it. He's desperately, maybe not all that desperately, because I think he calls once and then like gives up, which is like, I don't know. If someone I worked with was about to encounter someone who's a ghost,
A paranormal demon?
I
Yeah,
might at least call twice.
maybe.
The first one, okay, sure. I give it a second. And maybe if you say no on the
Maybe they're
second,
trying to call me back.
I'd probably do, call me crazy. I might even do a third. Maybe
Wow.
maybe a fourth, maybe a fifth.
He's a
But
dedicated employee.
homeboy calls once. Ashley denies it. Okay, well, let me fire up my resume because I don't know. With the reporter gone, I don't know if it's gonna work out.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, they see Sarah in there. They move on in. Always a great choice. And we get kind of like the final stinger.
I don't think she says anything. I
Okay.
think she just turns around and she's like blood
All right.
soaked. And then like, wait, what? And then the door slams shut, and then those cloaked figures appear for a final time.
Bop.
No. Got their ass.
And then that's it.
That's it. Wow. And what did we learn today? I don't know if I learned anything
I don't know.
other than a reinforced fear of mannequins.
I guess so, huh? What did I
Ugh.
learn? Peace out early.
Yeah.
Money ain't worth it,
Mm-mm.
especially not like a $5 haunt ticket.
No. The
But
grind don't
anyways,
stop.
Sarah gets her ass. Well, I don't know, Sarah. The cloaks get their asses in the end. Shall we DTR and see how we feel about it?
Let's do it.
It's 3 days till the opening of Hell House. Yippee. Everyone's a little stressed. I personally think we have no business being here.
I don't like clowns. I don't like mannequins.
Uh-huh.
I don't like creepy pianos that play on their own. And this movie has all three of those things. So very scary for me, but I really like it. I think it's a good movie to rewatch, which some horror films you can't really do that with. Like once you know what's coming, you're like, well, I already know, so I'm not scared, but I've seen this movie multiple times now, and every time I get scared. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that really kind of speaks to like just what a good job can look like when even though the tools you have may be less, you know, fancy pantsy than you might want,
Mm-hmm.
but they had a vision and I think they pulled it off really well, all things considered, because I'm a baby. I'll admit that. I jump all the time,
Oh
but
yeah.
this is a film that like keeps you on edge in a really, really well, like good way. So
Mhm.
I think I'm show dependent. I think I like it a lot.
Yeah,
And especially for horror.
yeah, I think I also, I mean, I don't know, I know that I am show dependent on it because it was something that when we watched it the first time, I found myself, genuinely creeped out by some of the moments of it. I think the big moments that we talked about, they're standout moments, especially in recent horror. And yeah, it's like I've said a couple times, I think that it's just a really great horror film that really understands how to make something scary.
Mm-hmm.
I love the design of the clown, very striking. Um, I wish the franchise was a little bit better as a whole, but there are other films that I like and other moments in the franchise that I think are really great that sort of like are comparable to this first one, at least for a little bit. But this first one, I mean, it's a cliche in movies that the first one is the best a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
times, and this one I think is by far the best. of all five. Obviously, the newest one, but we have our reasons for to be skeptical of how good that's going to be. But yeah, it's a movie that stayed with me. I love rewatching it every year. I look forward to rewatching it every year. The same moments are still creepy, like you said. Every time that head turns, I'm just like, oh shit. It's just so well done. Really a testament to the actors, the director, everyone. They did fantastic in this. And yeah, show dependent for sure.
I think this being a movie that I didn't watch as a kid and have like a formative experience with when I was really young, but having a formative experience with it when I was an adult, in a pretty unique kind of transitory time in my life. I think that it stands out to me a lot more than a lot of other movies that I saw in that time period. And it, like both of you have said, it truly has a rewatchability that a lot of other horror movies, or just any movie in general, once you kind of know like what's going to happen, it's still like a great popcorn movie. Um, I think this was one of the first movies I watched when my partner and I started dating. I think we watched this movie, and then I think actually another haunted house movie. I think another haunted house movie we watched was the movie Haunt. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which I like Haunt a lot.
Oh
I think
yeah.
that's a good movie. I don't like it as much as Hell House LLC. And my partner certainly doesn't like it as much as Hell House LLC. But um,
Oh boy.
no, I mean, I'm not saying that it's like she hates it or
She
anything, but it
hates
was more
it.
like she remembers when we watched that. It was like one of our first dates, so
Uh-huh.
she like remembers watching that and loving it, and um, that was kind of the one that stood out for her.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a yeah, it's a triumph to like low budget film. It's got some really memorable scares. And is it a perfect movie? No, but when you have one or two world class A plus scares like it does,
Mm.
that more than makes up for any sort of
Mm-hmm.
you know misgiving or inconsistency that it has. As far as the franchise goes, the second one, I think the first half is like really bad because it's like kind of this like morning talk
Yeah.
show thing where they're like talking about what happened. And then the second half, when they're actually go into the house, I actually think is pretty decent. The third one is like unwatchable, in my
Aw.
opinion.
I don't remember
Uh,
it, but I know I saw it. So that's
Is that
kind of
Lake of
yeah,
Fire?
that's Lake of Fire, and there literally is a Lake of Fire at one point that is the worst CGI you can ever
Oh
imagine.
I feel
Um,
like I'm now
and
getting flashbacks.
it is a bonkers setup too. Like there's a literal angel of God that is
Ew.
in that movie. It's weird.
Oh.
Um, Now the fourth one is actually, I think, the best
I
sequel.
like that one.
Carmichael Manor, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Uh, that one's really well done. I like that one a lot. Uh, and then the fifth one, which just came out, like Eddie alluded to, I haven't seen it, but I feel like it is probably not going to be something that I'll enjoy because it is not found footage.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think I mean, you've had four found footage films. I don't understand the choice to go to a non-found footage
Right.
traditional format. In addition to that, I did see this director's I'm sure he has other movies, but I did see a recent non-found footage movie that he did that was on Shudder,
Hmm.
825 Forest Road. And there's some like kernels of good moments in there, but it's a movie where it's like, oh, you can feel the low budget. You can
Oh.
Oh
feel like,
no.
like the not ready for prime time players that are they're acting in
Lights are
it.
too bright.
Um yeah, and so it's like it's not a terrible movie, but it's also like not a movie that's particularly memorable. And so, I'll still check it out. Like Hell House is fun enough,
Oh
but
yeah.
really to me, it's like the first one is the pinnacle. The fourth one's okay, and then everything else is kind of like, yeah, I don't think you really need
A little
it.
bit of slop.
Um, But that first one, I'll always have a special bond to it. And yeah, I'll come back to it every year. So definitely something I would say I'm show dependent on.
Oh yeah, we love
Hooray!
it. We're Hell House 3 for 3. Outstanding
Yeah.
work out there. And that was that.
And this is this.
First of all, big, hugest thank you to our boy Bird.
Squaw. I don't
Thank
know.
you. Thank you so much for coming back. We always look forward to it. I know it's something I look forward to every time doing this
It's a fun
podcast.
little tradition
It's
that
just,
we've started.
yeah, it just naturally came about because it's just fun to talk about the things that we love. We love horror. We love that we get to do it every year with Bird. So, again, thank you to Bird. Thanks for coming on, being willing to do this with us year after year.
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you. So
Well, you're welcome. I'm just kidding.
Wow. But it is not going to be done here today because, like we said at the top of the episode, very excited. Love that we got to do this and make this choice and do this because Bird will be back. Bird will return for a second episode this year.
Whoa!
I know, look at
He
us.
won't die.
How lucky are we? Yeah, but this next one's going to be super fun too.
I'm really excited for the next one. I think
But
everybody's gonna like it.
before we get there, before we go on any further, thank you all for listening. If you liked what you heard, please follow, download, and spread the word. Tell your group of your maybe problematic friends. They say a little bit some things they shouldn't. Maybe they're talking like
Hey.
they're still in 2009. Maybe they're a little too aggressive with the women.
I hope you're not friends with any people like that, but yeah, sure.
Really hope you're maybe not friends with them anymore. But hey,
If they listen to the podcast, I guess we'll take them on any day.
we grew up together. All right, he's just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them they can find Show-Dependent Podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Drop a like, a subscribe. Definitely will help out. But we'll be pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to follow the pod, it's on Instagram. It's on TikTok until TikTok dies. At Show-Dependent Pod. That is at SHO Dependent Pod. You want to follow myself, it's at Victor V. Sweet on Twitch. We're still working on things there. Rebranding and doing all that. Gorgeous, where can you be found?
Yeah. I am checking all the corners of the apartment. Make sure there are
There's not
no
a lot of
mannequins
them.
or clowns. There's enough. There's enough. You could get pretty scared if you tried. Maybe giving Buddy another bath. Who knows? I'm doing lots of things these days.
Bud has become a little bath boy.
He's really good in the tub, actually. It's really cute.
And our boy Bird, do you have any parting words for us before we head on into the next episode?
I do not. I don't have really any social media.
As you shouldn't.
Yeah.
We're making a mistake.
We're every day is a choice, and we're making the wrong one.
Typically, I would give some sort of plug for a horror movie or something to check out. But since we will have a part 2, maybe I'll just save that for then.
Suspense.
But suspense. Close. Sounds a lot like
the next movie we're gonna talk about,
which is quite different than Hell House.
Yeah.
Maybe a
polar opposite.
Polar opposite. Yeah.
Within the same genre somehow. Yeah.
But we will be talking about the Italian giallo classic Suspiria.
Ooh.
Is that a goblin?
Nope, it's just your forehead in the camera.
Goblin these balls.
Stop it!
Queens was actually pretty fucking sick if you think about it.
We actually had some good motherfucking times in Queens.
That guy that played Lucifer was that guy from Queens. He had that really thick, he'd be like, yeah, welcome to Lucifer's cabin.
God, that's
so
that's
dumb.
fucking hilarious.
I love it.
Oh, man.